There is something I found pretty interesting lately in React Native, and I want to share it with you today. One thing we can probably all agree about is how React Native has upped the soul to break many walls over time. It's simple, cross-platform, and keeps evolving. Although it has started as a way to reuse React knowledge on mobile, it was only a matter of time before the community tried to make it work for desktop as well. In late 2015, almost 6 years ago, Dima Loktev started React Native Desktop, which was later renamed to macOS and turned out to be only focused on Apple computers. So at that point, it was very unclear if we could ever use React Native on Windows, for example. But that was until a year ago, after Microsoft released a new version of React Native Windows, more stable and complete. The great thing about it is having a big company using React Native for some of their projects is immensely helpful to keep things moving quickly. Not only it would work for Windows, but also macOS, Xbox, and others. So this was a year ago, and to be honest, things weren't as pretty back then since this was still something taken out of the lab. But a few days ago, I thought it was time to give it another try. And for this, we'll need this other laptop. I think we should start with a few things. First, not everything from React Native works on the Windows version. Although there's a lot of it already added, you can still find yourself stuck with some missing APIs, and the same goes for popular community libraries that might not have their version yet. So, just so you know, you can't expect everything to work as with mobile. That being said, there's still a bunch of libraries you can choose from, since a lot can be done with pure JavaScript in general. If you need navigation, React Navigation works pretty well out of the box, but also camera, pickers, etc. for native. All you need is to import them yourself, as you'd usually do with a bare React Native app. So basically, you can make simple React Native applications running on Windows. This is one I've done that can give you an idea of what you can do without too much configuration. I just made a chat box that shows fake conversations, so I could play with scroll views, big lists of elements, vector icons, or even images and text inputs. Now, I'll be honest with you, at the very beginning, I was quite worried. My app wouldn't build, and it was the first time I was launching Visual Studio to make an app for Windows. Another thing is that it usually takes a very long time to compile, at least on my computer. We're talking maybe 5 to 10 minutes each time you're making a native change, but this is quite similar anytime you're not using Expo. Sometimes though, it was quite frustrating to wait till the build finished to realize that something wasn't working. But to be honest, this was either coming from my lack of knowledge, or sometimes, and that one's not too good, from the package documentation. I won't give names here, but after following the instructions for a project, looking at issues, it took me a full hour to realize that it would just not work on Windows. Anyways, it didn't start very well for me, but after this, everything worked fine. The only step that's important for newcomers like me is to install native libraries. Every time you add one, you'll start by closing the app, installing the library, and then import it into your project. This is the part where you link the library to your app, just so during the build process it knows where to look for the dependency. Once it's done, you build and run the whole thing again, and that's it. It's just a matter of learning it once, and then you're good to go. Now obviously I wasn't working with something too complex at this point, so you might be thinking this doesn't mean much. However, if you have Messenger on desktop, they're actually using React Native Windows for their app. And when I see the final result, there's no way I would ever think this had been done with React Native. And this proves you what you can get with more time and energy. It's also been known that Xbox used it for their PC app, and the result is as impressive as Messenger. Personally, I didn't think it was possible to make such apps using React Native. People working on this project have done a really good job, although it still needs to mature before it gets as simple as making a mobile app. You know, actually before giving it a try, I didn't even think this was an alternative. I mean, today, everyone is using Electron if they want to reuse their React code on desktop, and that's usually it. So in that sense, it is definitely a step forward. Now, I wouldn't say React Native Windows is a good fit for everyone. You still need to check the available native libraries before you get started, because some of them are quite old or non-existent. But if you have Windows running somewhere, you should seriously give this a try because you might not need Electron next time. If you're curious about the small app I made, you can find a link down below, but truth be told, it is just React Native code. Alright, that's it for today. Let me know what's your opinion in the comments. I'd be really happy to see what you guys think. Remember to subscribe if you want more React Native videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.